Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new. Today we have a really fun video. I have been wanting to do like a kind of sit down cozy video for a while, and I wanted to bring it back to OG YouTube or OG BookTube if you will. I started watching BookTube when I think I was about 11 or 12, and the first video, I kid you not, the first video I watched was Do I Have That Book Challenge by A Clockwork Reader. She is still honestly one of my favorite booktubers. I love her content so much, and she just is what made me kind of just fall in love with BookTube. I was already in love with reading, but she made me fall in love with BookTube. She gave me so many book recommendations. But she did a video back in the day of a Do I Have That Book Challenge, which was a kind of tag that was circulating BookTube back then. I think it was about 6 years ago, so I'm definitely very late to the trend, but I wanted to kind of bring it back, see if we could bring it back. I would tag the original creator's video as well, just because credit where credit is due, of course. But yeah, today we're going to be doing that challenge. I think there's about 20 questions and they're all very random. They're not like a typical kind of favorites book tag or whatever. They're a little bit fun. I've only read a few of them, and that was purely when I was like copy pasting the original questions into a note stock so I could read them out. I haven't read all of them, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to like read them on the spot. So I have my iced coffee here because it's a lovely warm day. Grab a little snack, grab a little drink, sit down, and let's chat books. I'm sure you'll be getting so many book recommendations through this challenge as well, which is what I love about these challenges. We're gonna go in order. I was gonna just do random ones, but I think I'll lose track of like what I've done and what I haven't answered and everything like that. So the first book, I feel like I need to put this down. So the first question is, do you have a book with deckled edges? I think I actually have only a few of these. Like, I feel like that's a pretty rarity now, but I do have some. Okay, this is actually my current read, but it does have deckled edges. I've marked it with like the book thing, but anyway, as I don't know if you can see that. I feel like they're very hard to pick up on camera, but it does have deckled edges. I actually love this feeling of books. I also have all of these series of Unfortunate Events. I've got a few with me at the moment. They also have deckled edges. I feel like they're known for having deckled edges. I personally love the feeling. I am such a like texture person. I love having the physical book when I read it. I personally love hardbacks, but they're kind of a lot more expensive and harder to come by in Australia. Paperbacks are a lot more common, even for new releases. Like, we always have paperbacks first, but for some reason I like the feel of it when I'm reading it. I don't know if it's just like nostalgic, because a lot of books I used to read when I was like younger, obviously like Series of Unfortunate Events had that. So yes, the first book is A Harvest of Hearts that matches that. I am really liking it so far. I'll talk about it more in my wrap up, but it is so Howl's Moving Castle, I want to say, meets like Immortal Dark or something like that. It is so much fun. I am loving this world. Like, I'm really truly obsessed with it, and I'm not like, literally don't know why this doesn't have more hype. Okay, question number 2. Do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? I feel like I must, surely. This is gonna take a little scan. We're definitely gonna be like kind of, I don't know if this counts, but surely it does. Collector's edition of Harry Potter. We have obviously Harry, Ron, and Hermione on the front, and I think this is the only book that matches this prompt, which is crazy, but yes, obviously Harry Potter. I absolutely love this edition. Emily actually gifted it to me, and it is just, oh, it's so pretty. Do you have a book based on another fictional story? I feel like we're looking for retellings. I don't actually know if I have any retellings. No, I do. I have a retelling. One of My Enemy by Olivia Blake. This is actually a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I truly did not think I was going to enjoy this book as much as I did, but like, I am obsessed with this book, with the way Olivia Blake writes, with the way she creates characters. I'm not usually one for retellings or based off other fictional things. I find it really hard to separate the one from the other. I think when it's Shakespeare, some really incredible stories can come out of basing something like that. Like, if you think about all of our favorite chick flicks, a lot of them are based off Shakespeare plays. I am not a massive fan of Shakespeare. I think for that reason I avoided this for a long time, but as you can see by the annotations, this has turned out to be one of my favorite books I have ever read. Fascinating world. It's so dark and atmospheric and just moody in the best way possible. I personally absolutely loved it, so I highly recommend if you haven't read this before. Question number 4. Do you have a book with a title that is 10 letters long? Exactly 10 letters. Okay. I do. I have one. That was so much quicker than I thought. This is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. The first word is 5 letters. The second word is 5 letters. So that is perfect. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez is quickly becoming she is one of my favorite romance authors. I've been working through her backlog. I've read Part of Your World, Yours Truly just for the summer, and then her newest release, Say You'll Remember Me, which I actually really enjoyed. I know that it's been getting a lot of mixed reviews. It wasn't my favorite by her, but it was a 4 stars for me. I really connected to it on a personal level. It was quite intense read for me just because of how much I connected to it. I'm not used to having that much of a similarity to people I'm reading about. But Yours Truly was the first book that kind of made me go, oh my god, I understand the Abby Jimenez hype. She is a complete genius. The way she writes and creates such emotional characters is insane to me. She is just one of a kind. She also includes such great representation. Like, for example, in yours truly, our main male protagonist has an anxiety disorder, and it's really, really great to see it represented in such an accurate way and integrated into the story without being like his main personality, if you know what I mean. So yeah, amazing. 5 stars for me. Do you have a book with a title that starts and ends with the same letter? I'm sure I do. Okay, well that was ridiculously challenging, but I do finally have one, and that is House of Sky and Breath. It starts with an H and it ends with an H. That was ridiculously hard to find. I did not think I was gonna have that hard a time of finding something. I'm sure there must be at least one other that has the same letters, but I could not find it for the life of me. Anyway, House of Sky and Breath. This is the second book to Crescent City by Sarah J Maas. Mixed feelings about this series, honestly. I really enjoyed the first one, didn't love the second one, still have been too scared to read the third one. Do you have a mass market paperback book? Okay, so I had to like remind myself what this meant, but I'm pretty sure it's like smaller books that are like not like different to a paperback. I think I do, but they are the Penguin Classics. Let me grab one. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what we clarify as a mass market paperback. Correct me if I'm wrong, please do. The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald. We actually have a whole collection, my boyfriend and I, of classic Penguin books because we do love a good classic now and then. The Great Gatsby is actually my favorite classic I've ever read. I absolutely love Scott Fitzgerald, or his wife, whoever wrote the book. I know that there is debate. Wish I knew the answer, but whoever wrote it is an incredibly talented person. I have annotated this multiple times. I wrote my year 12 graduating essay on this. Like, I love this book so much. So yeah, Great Gatsby. Do you have a book written by an author using a pen name? This is interesting. I've definitely read a lot, but I don't know if I have any physical books. I just had a light bulb moment. I think I do. We've already used this for one prompt kind of, but I actually think this is the only one I have physically. I know that like obviously J.K. Rowling used to write under pen name, but I don't have her book here. The other person I know who writes under a pen name is Lemony Snicket, who wrote the series for Unfortunate Events series. I feel like I've been talking about this series so much recently, but it truly is one of my favorite series I've ever read. Like, they're just so much fun. If you need to just like binge a book in a night, they're the perfect books, and they always get me out of a book slump. I just love the way he writes. I think it's so unique, it's so dreary and interesting, and it's so fun having like the narrator talk to you as the reader. I think it's a really fun experience, and I do think everyone should read these books once in their life at least. I read them when I was, I think, about 10 upwards, and I've been rereading them because they're so much fun to experience. So yeah, Lemony Snicket wrote under a pen name. It's a great pen name, I'll give him that. I also used to find it so funny when I was young that his little like author's pick or author bio at the end never was him. He never had a photo of himself. He was like, for example, this one is just a shadow. Like, you never actually knew what he looked like. Well, at least I didn't when I was a kid, so I wasn't about to go Google him. I was like, oh, it's a mystery. It was so much fun though. Do you have a book with a character's name in the title? Obviously Harry Potter, but we've used that for one prompt. We're not going to use that again. Yes, we do. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. One of, I feel like I'm picking all my favorite books, but this is truly, again, one of my favorite books I've ever read. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I truly, truly love her to bits. I think she is an incredibly talented writer. This is also one of the best movie to screen adaptations I have seen. Yes, it was a little bit different from the book, but when I tell you they nailed every single character, for me personally, they're exactly as I pictured them in the book, and I felt like the vibes were so perfect. Everything about that series was perfect. I bawled my eyes out in both the book and the series. I think it is a wonderful series. So highly recommend, even if you didn't enjoy the book, I do recommend watching the series because this whole book is in like interview format. So it works really well on screen. But yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six. Obviously Daisy Jones is one of our main protagonists in this. It's the prompt easy. Question number 10 is, do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? Immediately, I know the answer to this. That is the Six of Crows or Shadow and Bone series. The Shadow and Bone is just there as well. I actually loved this show. I know what I feel like a lot of people don't know who haven't read the books is that they integrated both Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows into one. In the books, they're different timelines, but in the show, they're all one timeline. Whilst I didn't really understand that, I did think it worked, and I personally thought they casted everyone so accurately. I'm really sad that they cancelled. I think the characters were amazing. Kaz and Inej have my heart. I also love Nina. I like everyone in this series is amazing to me. I don't care what anyone says. I'm a Mal girl. I know that some people hate that couple. I'm just not a Darkling kind of person. In the movies maybe, but in the books, I'm not a Darkling kind of person. But yeah, this was adapted to a TV series and for some reason it ended. Number 11, do you have a book written by someone who is originally famous for something else, aka celebrity, athlete, politician, TV personality? The first book that comes to mind I don't have here physically. I have it at my parents' house, and that is Land of Stories. It was written by, I want to say, Chris Colfer. I think that was his name. I'll put it up on the screen, but he was originally in Glee, and I love the Land of Stories. That was one of my favorite series when I was young, and I was kind of growing up as they were coming out, so that was really fun for me as well, and I would like be so excited when the next one was going to release. But yeah, he wrote the Land of Stories series and honestly did an incredible job. An incredible YA series, especially for like middle grade. I started reading them in year 4, I think, is when they came out for me. I think everything else on my bookshelf is by an author first. Like first and foremost, they are an author, and then they might be like an influencer on top of that because of them being an author, if that makes sense. Do you have a book with a clock on the cover? That is so specific. I don't know if I do. Shall we have a look? Obviously we're gonna have a look. That was a stupid question. I think this is gonna be the first prompt that I actually don't have a book to match to, because I genuinely don't think I have a book that has a clock on the cover. Do you have a poetry book? Technically it is my boyfriend's, but we do have it. It's on our other bookshelf. Austin came in to save the day. We actually do have a book to match the clock prompt. It was just on the other bookshelf, and that is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, The Tales from the Cafe. This is the second book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, I guess. I really like it. I think it's so cute. I've actually only read the first 2 or 3 books. I can't quite remember, but it does. It has many clocks on the cover. Very glad I didn't miss that one. And then for a poem, this is kind of easy. Emily Dickinson Completed Poems. So yeah, we have a chunky book full of poems. Lots and lots of poems. Do you have a book with an award stamp on it? I'm sure I do. Like, I feel like this. Okay, now that I say that, I'm starting to question it, because every time I've said that, I've had trouble finding something. But I feel like this is something that usually has, it's pretty common. I specifically know that the copy that we have in Australia of The Nightingale has an award on it, and I literally can't find anything else. This is the closest I have, and that's Catch-22, and it has over 10 million copies sold, 50th anniversary edition. So it's like actually an edition. It's not like an award. I know that this author is obviously New York Times seller, but that is the literally closest. I know that that doesn't count. We really didn't have something to match this. There's Catch-22, another classic that I'm obsessed with. It is probably one of the funniest books I have ever read. It's a hard book to read, but it's incredibly witty. Do you have a book written by an author with the same initials as you? No. I have bizarre initials, I feel like FRV or just FV. Never see my name ever. Like, you know, whenever you go into those stores and they've got like keychains, like I never even find an F. I never find my name on those kind of things. And I don't think I have very many authors that start with an F, and they definitely don't have a V as their last name. The only person I can think of is like Frederick Backman, but obviously that's not me. Literally the only person I can think of that even has the same initial, even one initial as me. I don't know why it's such a rare initial, but I feel like F is a rare initial. Number 16, we only have a few more questions left. Do you have a book of short stories? I do. Okay, this is the Book of Witches, and it is basically a bunch of short stories about witches. Like ancient stories, everything like that. I haven't read it yet, but I do have this on my shelf. Okay, number 17. Do you have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages? I feel like this will be hard, but we might be able to do it. Yes, we do. This is Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book to A Darker Shade of Magic, which is one of my favorite trilogies I have ever read. I love this trilogy so much. Like, if you're going to take one recommendation for this video, please let it be the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I feel like it doesn't have enough hype. It is one of my favorite trilogies I have read. It is just the best balance of like high fantasy, a little tiny bit of romance thrown in there, really magical, unique worlds. It's just so perfect. Basically, we are following Kel, who is a magician, and in this world, magicians are the only people, there are very few of them, who can travel between the different realities of London that there are in this world. So I think there's the grey London, the black London, the white London, and the red London, and you can travel between the different realities, and Kel does that to make sure there's like peace between the monarchs, the different realities of the monarchs, if that makes sense. He also has very close ties with like this royal family. We're also following Delilah, who is like this renowned thief from one of the realities. It is so good. I loved this so much. I feel like this series could do no wrong. I'm obsessed with it. And this is 508 pages, I think. Yes, 500 for proof and 8 pages. Obviously there's acknowledgements on the next page, but yeah, if we're counting actual pages of the book, 508 pages, 509 if we're counting acknowledgement. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Third last question, do you have a book that was turned into a movie? I do. First one that comes to mind is obviously Lord of the Rings, my all-time favorite fantasy book that I've ever read. This is the book that made me fall in love with fantasy, or like high fantasy. Obviously Lord of the Rings, incredible movie adaptation. There's also like The Hobbit, the whole series. That's the first one coming to mind. I also have Bridget Jones down there. Obviously that is a movie now. I have Red, White and Royal Blue as well. I actually really liked the movie adaptation of this. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, but I thought it was really fun. I just love this book. It is such a fun book. Like, it's one of those books that just makes you believe in love because it's so cute and fluffy and like the best kind of feeling. Number 19 is, do you have a graphic novel? I don't know if I do. I definitely don't on this bookshelf. I actually don't think I do. I don't really read graphic novels, and if I do, they're usually from the library. I don't really collect them. So yeah, I don't think I have a graphic novel. I have books with illustrations, but that's not the same thing. Yeah, I've never really been one to collect graphic novels. I definitely have read a lot from the library. That's our question that we can't answer. We've not completed the challenge. That means, are we that bad? Oh, it's fine. Last question is, do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? Again, the first book that comes to mind is Christina Lauren, like anything by them, but I don't think I have that book here physically. I know I have The Love Equation, which is written by them, but it's back at my parents' house. Wait, I have one book. Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is by 2 authors. They wrote the entire Addicted/Calloway Sister series together. I have only read the first 2 books in this series. I'm not obsessed. I do think I could be obsessed. I just have to actually like commit to the series, and then I think I'll really enjoy it, because people have compared it to like Magnolia Parks, Boys of Tommen, and obviously they're 2 of my favorite series ever, so I do feel like there is a lot of potential here with this series. But I didn't love the first book at all. I just didn't like the relationship between the 2 of them. I found it really, really hard to root for them. I know that's probably meant to be, and I am curious to see what happens, because like people rave about this series, so like it's got to get better as you get through the series, obviously. And like, I'm very glad I pushed past the first Magnolia Parks, because whilst I enjoyed it and whilst I enjoyed this, it was very easy and entertaining to read. It's definitely not the best I've ever written. Going back, the Magnolia Parks book, the first one, is incredible, but that's because I know the characters so well and I know what they're going through. When you first read it, you don't really know much. You really don't. So I feel like that might be the same situation for this book and this series. I do really want to continue it. Even speaking about it now makes me want to continue it. I feel like I definitely should. But yeah, this is the book that fits our 20th question. And that wraps up this challenge. This was so much fun. I love doing videos like this. I hope you enjoyed. I know it's a bit more old school and not what I typically do, but I do want to start doing these challenges a little bit more, or just these bookish videos. I love OG YouTube and I kind of want to bring it back a little bit more, or OG BookTube, sorry. So yeah, doing little videos like this, and it's a really full circle moment for me, because of this was one of the first BookTube videos I ever watched, and now like I have the ability to create that, which if I could tell my 12-year-old self that, I think I would actually cry. But yeah, so it's a bit of a full circle moment for me, and kind of hard to believe that people actually watch my videos and enjoy it, and I get to share my love for reading with you all. It's a little bit emotional, but that's okay. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. My God. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun. If you see this video and you're a BookTube creator, please create this video, tag me, let me know that you did. I'd love to watch it. Thank you all so much for watching to the end. If you have watched to the end, you can comment a fairy if you want to let me know that you finished. That's a little tradition here on our channel, or at least it's turned into a little tradition, and I love it. Thank you all so much for watching again, and I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video.